Made my whole week. This post made my whole week. r/AskReddit by online comps, men or women, that have had sex with a man with an abnormally large or abnormally small penis. What was the experience like? A girl once told me that a limo is impressive, but it's not that fun to drive and is especially hard to park. A regular sedan might be less impressive but much more fun to drive, and you can park almost anywhere. So I asked, how do you feel about hatchbacks? Yeah, but I wouldn't want to be driving a sedan you could park in a belly button. During sex it felt great, I guess, because of the adrenaline, but afterwards I was doubled over in pain. It felt like my cervix had been drop kicked by Chuck Norris. I've been there. The pain the next day. Is everyone measuring from the same spot? From the asshole to a couple inches in front? Edit. Thanks for my first gold. I have to give credit where it's due. I thought I heard this first from George Carlin. As stated, it is Adam Kirala, also a fantastic comedian. Love line. Was with a smaller dude. Like others here have said, felt nothing. Pretty sure most of the action was him grinding against my inner thigh. We were young and didn't really know what else to do outside of just basic sex. Nowadays I would ask for more attention, because regardless of size, you can still have good times if there's other foreplay and fulfillment involved. And I would assume most men go crazy at the thought of a woman giving them more info about what they want, so the good times can roll for both parties. He was a good dude and an attentive boyfriend. We broke up due to being long distance. I don't regret it, and I'd never make fun of a guy for the size of S3x. It's not the dick that makes the man, it's the willingness to be an open and loving partner. Edit. A few people have asked, it was really small, bordering on micro. So trust me when I say I mean what I said above. In all other aspects the guy was funny, caring, and great to be around. We stayed together for a good while and did only break up because there were more than a few states between us. And when you're that young you don't really have the money to travel very often. This was a very long time ago as well. I'm talking like 14 to 15 years. I'm very old, in Reddit ages, I guess. Middle-aged is the new 80, right? And to the rest, who say I'm probably lying, and it would be boring to not have full-on P+V6, that's your opinion and experience. Mine is different. You're welcome to your beliefs, but don't try to insert them directly into my head. The only one in my head is me, as far as I know. And the only one who has had my particular life experiences is me, as well. Which is how I came to be who I'm at this point. People always act like there's some kind of shame in using toys and stuff during regular sex. There's not. Sex stores wouldn't stay open if it wasn't fun to use them. Just saying. Abnormally large fellow dislodged my IUD. Was temporarily crippled by the pain and had to go to the DRs to make sure it hadn't perforated my uterus. Wasn't exactly what I'd describe as fun. I have an IUD and this is terrifying. Had a couple hookups with a guy whose dick was about the same size as my index finger. We only did blowjobs, but holy shit. It was like someone trying to make me throw up by sticking their finger down my throat. Edit. Thank you kind strangers. I will cherish the gold and the silver. Well, at least his spontaneous boners didn't matter during his teenage years. Above average can be absolutely incredible, especially in certain positions. That is until your cervix gets hit. I have my donut. It's a rubber ring, not a cock ring, the size of a donut, that goes around my cock at the base. And acts as a bumper, so I can go to town without the cervix bashing. Had to tell him to stop about halfway in. Not fun when terrified of injury. We were in our 20s, he was a smoking hot virgin. He met a woman who could enjoy all he had to offer, 26 centimeters, not long after our attempt, and FB says they are still together over a decade later. I don't even know if what we did qualifies as sex. He looked at me with a terrified, "Are you okay?" look on his face, and was met with my freaked out expression. Fun to look at, scary to experience. 26 centimeters. 10 inches for those of us whose countries have been to the moon. Edit. Gilded for this? *PROUD. To be an American intensifies. Edit 2. We should stop at 1776 upvotes. It would put the patriotism over 9,000. I lost my virginity to someone with a 9-ish incher. He was the epitome of having a big dick doesn't make you good in bed. Didn't try to turn me on. Didn't do anything but jack hammer until he finished. Couldn't even find my clit the one time he ever tried. All I really remember about that sex is the overwhelming, displeasurable pain of having him punch my cervix with his cock. Yep, I rolled left 5 seconds in. I don't do pain. A coworker of mine was talking about sleeping with a guy who was almost the size of her Comcast television remote. For visual reference, this is appropriate because Comcast is definitely a big prick. Anyway, she said she tentatively touched it like Indiana Jones with the golden idol and jiggled it about experimentally. It made a THP sound like a water balloon, and it was so visually striking and distinctive that she wouldn't have been surprised if it had talked or sang a song. In the end, she incredulously asked him what he was planning on doing with that, and had to frankly tell him she didn't think that was going to happen. Sometimes, I ask myself, why the hell did I Google Comcast television remote now? He used his size as a reason to not really try in bed. He never gave me opportunity to warm up, and even though I thoroughly enjoy super rough sex, he just thought ramming it into me over and over was the way to go. Lack of warm up and him just thrusting hard like no tomorrow left me sore and angry. Not the good kind of sore either. My cervix hated me when I was with him. He used his size as a reason to not really try in bed. I found that the larger a guy is, the less work he thinks he has to put in. But I've also had the reverse happen where a guy with a small dick was trying way too hard to make up for what he was lacking his words. The dude would not stop touching my clit or tits, and usually that's not a bad thing, but damn dude, too much. Bit of advice here lads. Either if you are truly blessed, lacking in length, or just about right, go down on the lady first and get her rocks off before you go working your way in. After that if it's big, you'll fit the gig. If it's small, it won't matter at all. I was with a guy who wasn't very well endowed. We were fooling around, and he asked for a hand job. I went to put my hand around, and found that my hand was larger than his fully erect penis. Similar to many others couldn't feel it when he put it in either. I was with a dude who had a peen like a large deodorant can. One night we were doing the dance of the beast with 2 backs, and he must have bashed my cervix one time too many, and I began to faint. I realized what was happening, and tried to make it to the bathroom, not sure why. I thought I'd been pretty speedy, but turns out he had to shepherd me along the 5-meter corridor, because I was all over the place, literally bouncing off the walls. I didn't even know he'd followed me. My roommate came out of her room to find me completely naked, passed out on the toilet with my panicking boyfriend trying to bring me round at about 1 AM. I eventually came round and kept frantically asking him to bring me my slip. He didn't understand. Bring me my slip. My slip. I was frantically trying to cover my bits and bobs with my hands to maintain some level of dignity. I wanted my nightie and had never called it my slip in all my days. I was so confused. The end. Close bracket. Made my whole week. This post made my whole week. Lost my virginity to a guy that insisted he was 6 inches. But my best guess would be 3 inches, and even that seems generous. I didn't feel a thing. Because I was just an innocent little 14-year-old who hadn't so much as seen porn. I asked him is it in yet, which I have since learned is a phrase guys don't like to hear. He insisted I must be lying about being a virgin, and that I must be a whore, because I didn't bleed, and wasn't uncomfortable during sex. In general he was a pretty shitty guy, and even the decision to have sex that day was one I didn't have much say in. But the emotional abuse he put me through for it fucked me up for a long time. My friend told me how she slept with our one friend in high school. They were fooling around under the covers, and she said you can put it in. He said I did. Who off? My shortest ex was actually the one with the largest penis. I don't know an exact side, but he had a very wide girth and was still decently long. We would have to use the vibrator on me first because it was thinner, in order to stretch me out enough that he would fit without hurting me. At the time, I thought it was really good sex. But now I'm with the guy that I know I'm going to spend my life with, and turns out the big dick guy wasn't as good as I thought. Now boyfriend is still decently long as well, so I'm a happy girl. Subscribe and you'll have a fluffy friend one day. Or have another if you already have one. Like the video if you enjoyed, and leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and always look forward to life.